Well, welcome back everybody. Today I've got, I guess for July, I've got your Patreon video here. This is a drawing of Siuan Sanche, specifically Sophie Okonedo as Siuan Sanche. You can see here, I started this one with drawing, and so I just went straight into drawing in Fresco, trying to get sort of the costuming mapped out. I really wanted to have sort of a classical feel to the costume and the hairstyle and stuff for the character. You can see here I'm sort of correcting my drawing. This is sort of what I was talking about in my last video about my process of drawing I need to work on, because through this process I feel like my painting has grown but my drawing is suffering a little bit. So I tried to draw it and then I realized that there was a little bit of inaccuracies, and I just adjusted things slightly inside the program, which is just a process that I'm going to kind of continue doing until I get through all these portraits. I'll throw this in every once in a while, doing this kind of like drawing over top, drawing separately and then drawing over top, placing it over top of the photo and evaluating my efficiency or my accuracy. But and then you can see here it's basically just the same process as always. I get the line work completed, throw in the flats, start mapping stuff out, and then start getting into the detail work of the painting. This one was interesting. I went for a bit of a more playful color palette, I guess you would say, on the figure work. So I wanted to have a number of sort of colors bouncing off and reflecting off of her skin tones and stuff. Partly because she's the Amerlin seat, and there's all those colors in her stole that she wears, or stole, whatever the proper way to say it is. But I wanted to reflect that sort of what do you call it, that nature of her leadership within the tower, I guess, through the colors that I implemented within the painting. And so you can see in her skin tones there's a lot of like blue reflected light, some areas of red, some different colors, green and stuff thrown in there in her skin tone. And not to the point where it looks like some kind of crazy sort of expressionistic or abstract painting, but something that carries quite a bit of life and energy to it, because her body positioning and her expression are quite stoic and almost like void of emotion. I thought it would be nice to kind of throw the color work in there to punch up the drama in the piece and have a little bit of dynamism to the color and the skin representation within the piece. I struggled a little bit on this one with aspects of her styling, and so like the jewelry that she wears, her hairpiece, the decorating on the costuming, and all those components were a little bit of work for me. I felt like it took a little bit to get them to the degree that I wanted them to work, but I feel like it came along and got to a point where I was happy with it. I tried to also stay loose. There's a fly in here, it's driving me crazy. I tried to stay loose with the painting on this one, a little bit more brush work, not as refined in the rendering, so that it's a little bit loose in some of the aspects around the cheeks, the lips, even just the forehead and the costuming, just again to kind of keep that vibrancy of life in there. Brush strokes are an interesting thing. Your marks on your canvas or your paper can really affect the mood and the feel of the piece. So if you go with really a lot of like very smooth like gradient transitions within the piece, it can feel it can bring it to more of a photorealistic rendering. But in my opinion, looking at something that is rendered in that way, it sort of can suck the life out of it if it's a very static image, and it sort of, in my view, removes the purpose for painting. Like I would almost say, hyper realistic stuff. My question is always like, well, why wouldn't you just take a beautiful photograph? And I guess there's an argument to be made about sort of the technical prowess to be able to push a painting to that degree where it looks photorealistic. But in digital work, you can kind of get there through the tools quite a bit easier than I guess you could on a traditional piece. I'm starting a new piece right now, the next portrait. So if you've been following along, you obviously know I just crossed the 50 portrait threshold in my 100 portrait challenge. The summer's been slower, obviously. You guys haven't been seeing as much pop up on my Patreon, and that's just a byproduct of the busyness of summer. Lots of stuff going on, taking a little bit of holidays, trying to recharge my batteries, and sort of juggling stuff at work with slower feedback loops with clients and stuff like that. So just kind of managing all those aspects of things. But I do hope to pick up my pace again in the fall and start to more more consistently release pieces, I suppose I would say. Get back onto a bit of a pace, maybe with a view of getting to 70 or 75 before the end of 2021. And then I'll be finishing up in 2022. And that's okay. I've just kind of had to readjust my own expectations and slow down a little bit. But anyways, I've started this piece. It's a commission for a client. And you probably will have seen on my Instagram, I did the same subject, essentially. Nynaeve, Zoe Robbins, who is playing Nynaeve. And this is acrylic. Of course, it's on a canvas, so it's going to be a fun process finishing it in a non-digital analog format. So I'm trying to record the process of that one, so I'll be sharing that in videos with you guys, hopefully in September or towards the end of August for your August video. That's my plan. If not, I'll probably do another one of my digital pieces and then use it for September. But been a really fun process working in the acrylics, and this person that's buying it has been such a great supporter of my work. They, like you guys, have been just very consistent. He's purchased 2 of my other acrylic pieces, and then he reached out to me specifically to request this one as a commission. So that was really cool. Just feels really great to have fans that are, like the work and want to see more of it. It's just really, really rewarding. So thank you everybody for being here. So you can see in the painting here now, this is the point where I felt like it was really starting to come together. Just the nuances of the colors in her face, those cools and warms and everything started to really kind of jive for me. I was quite happy with how these colors and tones were feeling in her skin tones. My one regret is I kind of wish I would have brought some of that warmth down into her dress. I ended up using just like dark blues for the shadows, and I kind of wish I would have put some reds and oranges maybe in there, just to push the dress to a similar level to her face. But on one hand, it sort of brings a lot of emphasis to her in the piece, and so I don't mind that. And I had a lot of fun working on the background in this piece. It was really, I kind of treated it really as like abstract kind of shapes almost in the background, and purely based on what I felt would work well in the composition. And so that was kind of a neat difference than compared to what I've been doing with the pieces. Of course, I do have some of those like overlays, what do I call them? Compositional graphical elements, which I think work in this piece. I like how they worked out. And again, you can see that they're just me putting my line work over top, trying to just reevaluate and make sure I had everything correct and working well. Jewelry is a thing that I need to get a lot of more experience in. The metallic surfaces and sheen on things is pretty challenging. So I was pretty happy how this turned out, but it's something that I definitely need to work on. There's a lot of nuances with how it reflects light. Light will bounce off of it and it'll change color depending on its situation. But overall, I surprised was surprisingly happy with this piece. I think it was a unique and interesting painting in the context of all of my other ones. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video process. It's just the export from Fresco, the video time-lapse export. So again, I'm trying that process here with this piece, and we'll see how you guys like it. And I hope that that drawing stuff at the beginning kind of starts to solidify some of that in your mind about what I'm talking about. Anyways, thanks very much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.